I want to introduce to you my mentor, Jolie Dawn. She helped me generate $82,000 within 6 months and then another $50K within 3 months. And that's on top of what I was already making. She is a money master and I'm so excited for her to share her wisdom today. So welcome, Jolie.
Such a joy to be here. It's an incredibly important topic that I'm passionate about. I've spent over the last decade studying the energetics of money, the creation of money. I'm an intuitive business coach and I help people take their gifts and put that out into the world. And money truly is a great form of self-care. It's a way that you get to love yourself. It's a way that you get to step into prosperity, engage with life differently, engage with yourself differently. And I want to hook you up today with some tools and some skills and some practices to see the prosperity transform in your life.
And there's also going to be an opportunity for you to work with her for free. So stay tuned for that. We're going to talk about that in a bit. But Jolie, you have made how much in the last few years?
The last 2 years, my company brought in 1.3 million in revenue, and I'm so grateful because I've been able to set myself up. I've been able to invent things and learn things and strategies that help other people. I've been able to invest in a real estate portfolio in Austin, Texas, and really one of the greatest things I'm able to do with money is really support and take care of my body, eating very high quality food and going places and nurturing myself, which is why I say money and prosperity is a great act of self-love. And it's such a joy to get to share these gifts and tools with people because I know we all could use a little more spaciousness and ease with money and money creation.
And your life did not always look like this,
No,
did it?
It is not what I grew up around. It is not the predictable future I had for myself. I grew up around really deep generational wounds of scarcity and not enoughness and limits. And both my parents passed away when I was in my 20s and both of them passed away in debt. There was no like generational wealth or assets created. And so it was an entirely new mindset. I got to train myself to be somebody I had never been before, something that I had never seen modeled to me. I didn't see it in my parents. I didn't have a rich uncle whispering in my ear, here's how you invest in real estate. It started as a desire. And when I started to have my awakening process, my spiritual awakening in my early 20s, and I wanted a way out of emotional pain, I could see my future and I could see one of the huge actions of freeing myself was gonna be to free myself from scarcity and learn how to create value in the world, learn how to get paid for that value, learn how to give generously, and live in an energetic reciprocity of abundance and prosperity with the universe.
So I'm assuming the people who are clicking on this video, they're really interested in this topic. They want to let go of those limiting blocks and beliefs around money. How do they let that go to be able to experience what both of us have been able to experience?
What I would say to you is that I just want to remind you of a truth. And when you feel truth, ask yourself this question: does it make me feel light and expansive? Because a truth in your body will feel light and expansive, and a lie will feel contracting, sticky, heavy. And when I remind you that prosperity is your birthright, that it's absolutely possible for you, you get to have this, you get to create a new future irrelevant of the past, irrelevant of your beliefs. Notice how that feels in your body. And if I tell you you're gonna struggle forever and money will never be easy, feel how that feels. And so the actual truth of the matter is you can do this. And I know what it feels like to be so triggered in a pattern of scarcity and to open a bill you weren't expecting and just to feel your whole body shrink. And that repetition of scarcity over and over and over forms habits. And those habits form beliefs. And then before we know it, we just think this is the way that I am. This is the way that the world is. And I'm so passionate about healing money, the relationship with money at the energetic root, so you can create a new future no matter what the past has been. And that is possible for every single person who's willing to commit themselves to learning a new practice and building the muscle, because prosperity is a devotional practice. It is a spiritual practice. It's not you go to one workshop or hear one video, you're like, I got it. It is a way of being, especially if you have a long history of practicing scarcity and not enoughness and unworthiness.
How do you practice abundance?
Yeah. You know, I remember when this was happening for me about a decade ago, and I just was so triggered. I had just gotten broken up with. I felt broken on so many levels, and I remember going to my journal and being like, where do I feel prosperity right now? Okay, I have a home. Okay, I have enough. We tend to unconsciously see our life in our world through the lens of not enoughness. And scarcity is so programmed into our world, especially with social media, when we can see what everyone else is doing and where everyone else is traveling and how everyone else is prospering. It's like comparison era that we're in. And it's a simple framework of be, do, have. So the state of being informs the actions that you take, that informs the doing, and that informs the results, which is the having. And this is where we get this wrong. We think that it is the having that will inform the being. If I only got this 6-figure job, if I only manifested $10,000, if I only could just pay this bill, then I would feel free. Then I would feel prosperous. And the practice I want to introduce you to is getting to the core emotional hooks of your scarcity practices and your prosperity, which is practicing the state of being before the money arrives. Repeat that again. Practicing the state of being, practicing prosperity, practicing enoughness, practicing abundance before it manifests in your 3D world. And I know this can be a big ask, especially if it feels far from the reality right now. But this is why I teach, and everything I do around business coaching and launching and course creation, monetization is who am I being? If I want to have a 6-figure business, how do I be as a 6-figure business owner? How do I practice prosperity? How do I hold that as an energetic frequency, as an energetic way of being that I greet and engage with the world in, so that it can start changing the way that I show up and the actions that I take? And so really coming to this place where it's like, there's nothing wrong with me, and there's nothing wrong with my life, and I didn't mess this up, and I'm not too late, and I didn't ruin everything. Right now is enough, and I'm going to practice a feeling, an internal feeling of enoughness in every area of my life. My career is enough, and my friends are enough. And even though I want some things to transform, it's not about like just saying the positive thing in hopes that we're going to just reprogram a thought that's not true. It's where can I genuinely, from a state of gratitude, celebrate the small wins that I have right now to see your life through that lens. Because the greatest way to shift our frequency, the fastest, easiest way to shift the frequency is to be in a state of gratitude. How can I bring gratitude to everything that I have right now? It is that state of being that informs the actions, which informs the having. So about a decade ago, when I was starting my business, I realized that one of my biggest blocks was in selling myself. I hosted a big event in San Diego. I had over 100 participants, and I got on stage so scared. And everything in my energetic way of being was like, don't buy from me. This is so scary. I don't deserve this. It's not good enough. And I presented my offer from that state. I had one person buy who was my friend and kind of felt bad for me. But what I realized just by doing the thing is I have a lot of work I get to do around my beliefs, around my worthiness, around money, around charging. You know, my money journey and entrepreneurship was so interlinked together, but all of these tools apply no matter how money is flowing through your life. And I dedicated myself to a practice that changed my reality so quickly, where I was able to start having high-end one-on-one clients, able to spaciously take care of the necessities of my life through the revenue I was creating, and I was changing the way money felt, and I was rewriting and re-scripting the story. And that number one practice was journaling directly to my relationship with money. So let me explain. This sounds like actually writing, "Money, I am so sorry for blaming you for all the chaos in my childhood. I'm so sorry for believing that you are the root of all evil. I'm so sorry for blaming you for years and years and years about why I'm stressed and burned out and scared and in fear. And what I realize is that you are the neutral third party, and I really want to cultivate a relationship with you as if you were writing a forgiveness letter to a lover. How would you be with that? How would you own your side of the street?" And I would say things like, "Money, what I want is a deep and intimate relationship. I want to get to know you and the ways that you want to grow in my life. I want to respect you by paying attention to you and spending time with you and learning to love you. And I wrote this practice, a letter to money, every single day in my journal for 365 days, and my whole world transformed. In my mid-20s, I had a six-figure business. By my late 20s, I was rocking multi-six-figure, and into my 30s, getting into a high six-figure range, nearly hitting that $1 million mark many times. And really just having this spaciousness. And I care so much about the healing with money because I know what it feels like to have the pattern on repeat and to have those negative emotions feel suffocating, especially when the collective conversation, there's such a wide agreed upon conversation around scarcity, and it really takes a brave, rebellious version of you to prosper, to take care of your money, to have big visions for the future and pin those Pinterest board pins about the trip that you want to take and let yourself dream. It takes courage to let yourself dream. And all of the work that I do is so rooted in the energetic relationship with money. We get to the energetics first, because if we can get to the energetics, we completely change what's happening on the external world and our ability to manifest.
And with that being said, the action steps for you to take, because that's one thing I always like to really drive home. It's not about just watching an inspirational video. Take action on what Jolie's saying.
And the thing that I would ask you is, are you curious about creating more money, or are you committed? Because that's a very two different set of actions. If you're curious, you may watch a video and then you'll put it down. And if you're committed, you would follow through, you would make change, you would be in the practice. It's like yoga, it's a continual practice. Money and prosperity. I'm still in the practice of prosperity, and I'll be in the practice for the rest of my life. I still have scarcity triggers that come up. Of course we do. It's just, how am I in those scarcity triggers? Do I collapse? Do I avoid? Do I run? Do I hide? Or do I meet it head on and feel the feelings and return to my prosperity practice? And one of my other practices that I really love around embodying the energetics is I teach this action called taking a prosperity date. So it's dressing your best, whatever prosperity feels like to you. It is taking an afternoon off. I used to love to go to the bougiest hotels in San Diego, and I used to live in San Diego or downtown Austin, and be in the energetic of having. And all of those places that you have perceived would be off limits because it's not for you, like test driving a luxury car, or go sitting at Soho House, or go getting a facial at a fancy hotel, or whatever that thing would be that if I made it financially, then I would do that.
Yes.
How do you start doing those things now, even if they don't cost any money? Going into Nordstrom and being like, I am actually just gonna try on the $3,000 purse and take a selfie in the mirror with me, because this is an anchor moment for me of me believing that this is possible for me, and really embodying those anchor moments, because typically we would see that price tag and be like, not for me, not for me, not for me. Unconsciously pushing it away, and now this is a practice of being like, oh, hell yeah, that's for me. Yes, I get to take up that much space. Yes, I get to dream that big, because why wouldn't I? Who am I not to do that? Why wouldn't I dream this big, beautiful dream? And I'll tell you, I wouldn't be here right now if I didn't give myself the space and the practice of dreaming big.
And I can emphasize on that. If you've been around my channel, they know my story of how I went from super broke to, within less than 2 years, moving into a luxury apartment all by myself. And it started when I was still broke, going and touring luxury apartments and playing the part. And even though at that point, I didn't know if that was actually the reality I was gonna have or be able to manifest, because I had no proof of it. But by the end of the year, I moved in to a luxury apartment by myself.
Yes.
From acting as if and going like, this is my plan. I have no idea if this is gonna happen, but I'm gonna show up and tell them that I'm seriously looking at apartments right now.
Yes, go tour that apartment. Yes. Go to that open house that is your dream house, and just be in the energy of it, instead of being like, I want this so bad, but I can't have it. The point is not to feel bad. The point is not to re-trigger your scarcity. The point is to be so unapologetic about the future you're manifesting with such certainty and such precision of, I am becoming this person, and this gets to be my path, and I practice it as many times as I take. And you're gonna surprise yourself. And listen, I'm a stand for you. I'm a stand for men, I'm a stand for women, I'm a stand for all humans across the world to get free. The mental noise, Annie, you know what this feels like? the distraction of scarcity and the energetic weight and the anxiety and what your body goes through on a hormonal level, on a nervous system level, when you're in the constant state of trigger around money, you owe this to yourself to get free. You owe this to yourself to love yourself enough to dream up a beautiful future, even if it doesn't matter how many times you've tried and failed. The beautiful thing about being a human in this life experience is we always have right now to create a new future.
Yes. And with that being said, I feel like this is a good time to tie in how you can help them have a massive breakthrough.
I created something in 2019 as an experiment, Annie. I called it the Dare to Prosper Challenge, and I wanted to share the tools that were working for me. And it was such a stretch. I'm like, who am I to do this thing? And what I realized is that I had created a healing container that made a profound difference for people. We've had over 6 years, over 10,000 participants, and one of the most effective healing tools for me was getting to the unconscious beliefs. Over 90% of our thoughts running through our mind and our brain matter is unconscious in the subconscious mind. So I lead a 10-day process using the tools of hypnosis to have a self-directed, a self-guided healing journey to be able to discover and identify and bring awareness to your unconscious blocks. I had one where I just couldn't seem to get past that 6-figure mark. And then I realized there was a belief in there of like, I can't surpass 6 figures because that's what my dad made as an attorney. And he worked so hard. I had this thing where I'm like, I can't surpass his income level. That was such a huge block. Or like, I'm just not a part of that lucky class of people who gets to thrive and prosper. Or maybe my grandparents were immigrants. And so I guide you into a deep healing journey into your unconscious mind to identify these beliefs and program core beliefs. It's fun. I call it the highest vibe prosperity party on the internet. It is totally free. It is my gift to humanity in the world because I care so deeply about raising the consciousness of humanity. And I know this is my way that I get to do that for people, is freeing people around money. So it's totally free to join. It's 10 days of content. I lead every single day in the morning, and then I have afternoon speakers, and the process is cumulative. So if you start on day 1, we're going deeper and deeper and deeper into the unconscious mind to clear these beliefs. And the results that happened, we had Brittany King who came in and completely, she is like, the thing that would make a difference for me in my money is to completely clear my debt. And she got an email that over $80,000 of debt was cleared. We have people finding money, getting raises because you're in the energy of it. This is the secret of manifestation.
Seriously. I've done my fair share of events, and Jolie is by far the top leading event person. I enjoy your experience so much, and I've been through all of her programs, and I still want to come back each year to this free event. Because you get so much out of it. This woman helps 6 and 7 figure entrepreneurs, and you get to spend 10 days with her and a bunch of speakers, all who are multi 6-figure earners, millionaires. And I'm actually speaking at it this year.
You are speaking, that's right, babe.
Which is a huge manifestation for me, because the first year that I was in Dare to Prosper as a participant, Jolie didn't know me, I didn't know her, but I was like, wow, if I could be on a panel like that, that would be mind-blowing. And look at me now.
Look at her now. It's so high vibe. It's a global happening. We have thousands of participants, and we really create a group field. And so it's a commitment. It's choosing to do it. And the question is, are you curious about a new life with money, or are you committed? And this is a really great first step to take that active commitment and go all in on 10 days and give yourself this gift of learning these tools. And I also share really vulnerably about my story, about my ratchet, humble beginnings.
Yes.
Very, very humble beginnings. Lots of substance abuse issues in my family and my lineage and my own journey with that. Losing both of my parents suddenly in my 20s, and how money has been this big karmic lesson of my life, because my dad's death was ultimately around a choice around money. And I'll share more of that in the challenge, and how really showcasing through my story that you can create a new future. And yes, even you, No matter what you've been through, no matter what you believe about yourself, I'm a stand for you because I know how possible it is for you. I'm so grateful to be able to offer something that is an incredible first step, or for people who have already been on the journey, a very expansive step to the next level of their money manifestation.
And if you're on this video and you've watched this far, like just click the link down below. Like it's an obvious no-brainer and it's free.
Yeah, and then slide into my DMs on Instagram too. I'm at Jolie Dawn XO, and tell me what's going on with your money. I run my own Instagram account. I read all the messages and I reply. So if you've made it this far, I'd love to hear what you're playing for in the Dare to Prosper Challenge and what are these core beliefs that you're wanting to break through, and I'd love to meet you.
Yay. So yes, please join us. I'm gonna be there. It's gonna be fun. I really hope that you will join because it has changed my life. Everything you've seen in the last few years started with this woman.
Like, so impressed with you. You've created so much revenue for yourself. You bought yourself the tiny home. You've set yourself up financially, and here we are now years later. I would love to be that mentor of yours that starts this journey. So I'll see you in the Dare to Prosper Challenge. Thank you so much for tuning in.
And thank you for being here.
Of course, my pleasure.
Yay, go follow Jolie, click the link down below, and I will see you soon with a new video.
Bye guys.